All right, X of Swords. Now, the current X-Men is so convoluted and you have to read so much crap to understand what's going on. It's really a pain in the butt, and I might want to do a video just kind of going over how to best do that in Oversized Hardcover and Omnibus. But basically, I started reading this because I was reading the Hickman X-Men Omnibus, and then I got into it and I saw there were missing issues. And so I stopped at that point in the Hickman Omnibus to read this, which covers 3 different one-shots: X-Men 12 through 15, Excalibur 13 through 15, Marauders 13 through 15, X-Force 13 and 14, New Mutants 13, Wolverine 6 and 7, Cable 5 and 6, Hellions 5 and 6, and X-Factor 4. Whew, it's a big, epic crossover, and it's got this on the inside of the dust jacket. So, very nice printing. They've done a lot with the cool new X stuff where you've got all these little like data pages and stuff like that, but the gist of all of this is that Krakoa has like this island like of mutants, and they've got this resurrection pods, like it's a video game basically, so nobody can die. And there's this other island that's like been colliding with it, and so Apocalypse has opened up this gateway to like the other world or something like that. If it sounds confusing and convoluted, it is. This is a horrible place to start reading X-Men. I don't know if anybody... You have to know who, like, so many freaking characters are. It's really atrocious. And here's a whole list of them. Oh, my gosh. When they get into there, like, I guess that other island is, like, about to go to war with Krakoa. And this, like, Saturnine lady who controls the citadel there makes these predictions with her tarot cards, and then like when all these hordes are about to attack, she basically says like each of you get 10 champions, and you have to find 10 swords in order to do this competition. Now the competition sort of thing comes from Marvel Contest of Champions. They did that in a 3-issue series where it's just like they score points towards a goal. And eventually it gets towards that. All these characters like hunt down their swords in their own individual issues for the first like third of this. And then the second third and third they are into the actual contests between them. And we're learning who is going to be the 10 people basically fighting for the X-Men in this. Now, all this is threatening, like, because I guess like this other world is threatening to like really overrun Krakoa and Earth and destroy everything. And Krakoa won't let the gate close for some undisclosed reason. Some issues are better than others. Some art's better than others. It's all over the map because there's so many writers and artists in this. It's just like a lot. But it does get to be a little redundant at points. This is a 700-page giant. So some of it's a lot of fun. Some of it's not so much. I liked the Wolverine issues quite a bit. I'm not a huge Wolverine fan, so that's an interesting way to go through things. There's like a bunch of backstory history that goes throughout all this. Then they get into the competitions, and so I'm expecting like a 1v1 with all these characters, like to the death and all that. And then they don't do that. The Lady Saturnine actually runs random competitions between the characters. Sometimes they have different objectives. One of them, like, she even, like, cheats out of it and says, oh, it wasn't a real death, but it was the death of his spirits because he thought he was going to beat you, and now he's not going to. So it was very, like, I don't know. It was very odd. And they let the Araka, whatever the other island bad beings, run up the score, like, 19-6 or something by one point. And then suddenly, like, there's one event that the X-Men do, like, and they just run up the score right back to 19. And so this all ties in with Excalibur. Like, one of the Captain Britons dies, and I don't know why they're a Captain Britain or any backstory behind that. I mean, there's just too much to like know, I guess, about the X past. You've got Storm dancing with like the Egyptian god of death. It's a lot of characters, like I said. It's just all over the map. Now the other thing is like Cable is like a little kid, like kind of. I guess he's like a high school kid, and he actually calls Jean and Scott like mom and dad, like they're actually taking care of him, and His sword's a very interesting thing, and it ends up having a twist at the end. I don't love the art in Cable as much as a lot of the other stuff, but the actual storytelling in Cable's all right. And it just goes on a little bit too long, I think, as these events tend to do with these crossovers. So it's 22 different issues over the course of this. Some of them are oversized, so you can see how that goes. Here's where it gets all the point scoring, as you can see. And with all the setup and all that, like, to have the actual fights kind of, I guess, fiated like that gets kind of weird. Now, once they actually do that, they decide to stop fighting once it ties up, and like the otherworld, whatever bad people are going to attack anyway. So that's the other part. It kind of invalidated this much of the book, and then Cable's got this special sword, which was kind of implied ahead of time, and that special sword kind of like takes care of business, and then. For some reason, Apocalypse surrenders to the White Queen here, and that like triggers the end of this, where they can all kind of get what they want. It's very bizarre. So, premise is okay. A lot of it was fun. Then it got confusing, and I don't know. It's just kind of rough. Very hard to get into and stay into this, is what I think. Even though it's a very big volume. Like I said, some of the art's good, some of the writing's good, some of it's long-winded, some of it has too much backstory, some of it's really fun, some of it glosses over the fun parts. It's just all over the map, and that's what you get with a crossover like this, no matter how well they all try to plan it. So, it's all right. I mean, it was a 7 out of 10. As far as, like, I've read some of the hardcovers, and I would say the crossover was a little stronger than a lot of that, and it's actually probably stronger than Hickman's X-Men by itself so far. We'll see how that goes as I get back to that X-Men volume. All right. Hit that like and subscribe button. Let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. And we'll be back soon.